Hello and welcome to this, the Crypto Club and Digital Assets Weekly Catch-Up on Zoom. It is Sunday, the 7th of May, 2023. And this week, we're going to be talking about a few different things. We're going to be discussing domains, a little bit about Bitcoin Ordinals, and also I'm going to be sharing some details about how you can provide a truly secure environment for crypto. So something for commercial organizations, crypto custodians in particular. But stick around and see what we talk about today.
Hello, Gary. How are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you today?
Yes, good. Because last time I joined your sessions, I keep remember this Sunday we have the schedule.
Yeah.
Because in here India it is a midnight before the midnight hours, so we have to awake. So I'm trying to awake to discuss what is going on this crypto sector.
Yeah.
Since last 1 week, I'm trying to update myself about the tokenizations. I'm learning. I'm indulging myself. How does it work exactly?
Okay.
So
there's certainly a lot of things happening in this space, whether it's tokenization of real world assets or digital ones and that. Yeah, it's an interesting space to be in.
yes. Because recently in India there was one event happened, sweep blockchain, and I think it is around 1st May or 29th April. So I was there. It was my first, you can say, community meetup. Okay, to meeting with the community manager, Epic area, Mr. Derek. Then I started to follow very deeply this way blockchain evolutions. They told me they have L1, they're having more TPS, more than 1 lakh TPS. And then I also keep my eye what is happening after launching their tokens on the, you can say, exchange. So I learned their price fluctuation as well on Binance and the trading platform, how much they have raised the fund. So now I've got some understanding what is the tokenomics, how they are raising, if uh, if they are having the projects. Again, in another platform, I discovered that they are again some launching some pod kind of product. They're also raising some mini fund for that segment as well. Is the second round. So it's very quite good learning this last 1 week.
Okay. And is that what, at an in-person event or a group? Was it an in-person event that you went to? Sorry, my lights. We say this group that you heard about, are they holding events physically? Was it a conference or something?
Because I joined the session in Gurgaon, in Delhi NCR region. It's a physical event. It was an in-person event.
Okay, that's what I meant, because there's a real mixture these days between physical events and virtual events and everything. Okay, well, there's quite an active community in Delhi as well, isn't there, on the crypto side of things?
Because there, so because two kind of people are here. One is the age group between, you can say, 18 to 35. These people are looking for the job or looking for the opportunities. Yeah, the code developers, they are looking for the grant from the blockchain platform to build their products on top of these blockchain platform.
Okay.
Is the first. And second categories, they want to make the money. Okay. They want to make the money by quick flushing the tokens, or you can say through the staking. Second is the staking. Okay. Third is the trading.
Yeah. So what is the latest on the legal situation with crypto in India? Because each time I check, RBI keeps saying that they're going to make a statement and then don't. So I don't know. Has there been any news lately?
Yes, a few 2 or 3 weeks ago, RBI has strengthened to follow the AML and anti-money laundering and KYC policies strictly. If anybody is, you can say, buy any crypto assets, those exchanges operating from India, so they have to must follow the AML and KYC policy. Is a mandatory. If they are not operating, they are not doing, so they are liable to pay the penalty.
Okay. So that's not dissimilar to a number of other countries that are saying, well, you treat it like any other financial transaction, and you have to do, as you say, the know your customer, the anti-money laundering, sanctions checking, all of that kind of thing. Okay.
No, but in my what I have gone through, governments want to, because already in last year in budget, government already put some taxation, 30% taxation. So they want to check how much enterprises, corporate having the crypto in their books of accounts.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so they want to see the increase in the books of accounts in the times of the, you can say, monetary inflation or deflation. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
in the, you can say, controlling the repo rate that time. Today I got the news that in UK, UK Information Agency started to crack down the ATMs, the crypto ATMs, which are facilitating, you can say, from the fiat to crypto.
No. So the ATMs, the bank machines, you mean?
Yes, yes. In UK,
Yeah.
because today I've got this news.
Yeah. So the background behind that, for those who don't know, is that the UK FCA has what is called a crypto asset register. So this is for any company that is dealing in crypto assets, whether that's cryptocurrencies, tokens, or whatever. And if you are a company that is dealing in those, then you have to be registered with the FCA for anti-money laundering procedures. And that's because the UK FCA has got overall supervisory responsibility. What they announced is that none of the ATM providers in the UK were on the crypto asset register, and therefore technically were trading without approval or even illegally. So that's why most of the ATMs were shut down. So yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Okay, this means if anybody want to set up the ATM, crypto cash ATM in UK, so they have to take the license from these FCA agencies.
Yeah. So what it is now is that any UK company that is looking to hold and trade and sell and promote crypto assets in any way has to be registered with the FCA on the FCA register, and that takes several months. Many companies have tried and have actually given up and have gone away. And I've re-domiciled, so several have relocated to Singapore, I think, and a few others. So yeah, so it's quite a pain. But what it is that it means that the FCA can say that if you're not on the register, then you're not trading legally, and therefore you're not allowed to market or promote your products or services. So, hey, so you've just been joined by Elena and Sebastian. Hi, both.
Hello.
Elena, are you having a good break?
Yeah, we have nice weather. It's very nice, warm. The warm season has started. So yeah, but I'm not forgetting about our Zoom meetings.
Oh, that's good. It's always nice. Excellent. And Sebastian's joined us as well. Hi, Sebastian.
Hello everyone.
You enjoying the lovely weather at the moment?
Well, it is a bit of a change, isn't it? Somewhat unexpected.
Would have been nice if it had been yesterday for the King's coronation. That's another story.
Yes, the fly past was not great in IFR conditions.
It was fine providing you were flying either in the Red Arrows at 700 feet or in a helicopter. So it looked exciting. So all good fun. So anyone got any news, anything happening in the crypto world? Elena, is your course finished now?
Yeah, it's finished.
Okay.
I have a little bit of catching up to do.
Okay.
But yeah.
So, and have you sat the exam yet?
No. The weather is too nice, you know. But nevertheless, I can highly recommend it to anyone.
Yeah. For those who are watching or listening or whatever, University of Nicosia do an Introduction to Digital Currencies course, which is what's called a MOOC, a massive online community or course, whatever. Because it's an intro course over about, is it 13 weeks, I think, a couple of times a week. It's free, and it's kind of a feed into their master's degree. on the wider course, and it goes into things in really great detail. I can recommend it for anybody who wants an in-depth understanding of digital currencies, crypto, how wallets work, how encryption is used, how transactions are signed. It's very thorough indeed. I learned many things on it. It's a good course, and as I say, it's free. I was, or technically still am, a course ambassador. So if anyone would like details of the course, then reach out to me and I can introduce them. But yeah, a good course then. Excellent.
Would we be able to talk about this new thing, the new phenomena?
Which one? Bitcoin ordinals?
Ordinals.
Ordinals. Yeah.
What is it?
So I may defer a little bit. My understanding, because I saw that these kind of exploded recently, is that with every Bitcoin transaction, and this is specific to the Bitcoin, if you actually look at the transaction record layout, there's a little bit of space left over. So you think about it, if you're running a ledger on transactions, all you need to know is when was the transaction created, who was it from, who was it to, what was the unit of amount, and how many was it? So, Gary sends Elena 2 Bitcoin on Friday, type of thing. There's a little bit of space left in a transaction record, which is kept free. And so what some companies are doing is that they're now using that bit of space as a pointer to somewhere else. So you think about, for those who understand how NFTs work, NFT are tokens managed by a smart contract on a blockchain that point to various things. Well, Bitcoin Ordinal effectively uses that little bit of space on a transaction record to point to something else. And so people are kind of using it as a way of tokenizing things. It is about as much as I can explain it. Sebastian, I don't know if you've taken any interest in ordinals.
Well, it's not something that I've been investigating within the context of cryptocurrencies, but it does sound suspiciously familiar, as if it is a linked list, perhaps?
Yeah, very, very much like that. And so what it means is that people are using Bitcoin transactions as a way of creating an immutable list, as you say. And what that means is that for the last few weeks, Bitcoin transaction volumes have been going up significantly. I think it was hitting something like 400,000 transactions a day or something last week. And a lot of those transactions are no longer financial. So they're no longer, Elena paid Gary 2 Bitcoin or whatever. They're simply transactional records that are being used for that additional piece of information. And so the network traffic has increased whilst the actual value of being transferred has not. So that's probably as much as I've got so far, Elena, I'm afraid. It's something that is definitely, exactly as you say, there's a lot of interest in ordinals, and I'm hearing them being promoted all over the place and being talked about. But as with so many of these things, I've not got close enough to understand how they actually work. But yeah, Sebastian describes it as a linked list, which is as good as anything. It's a different way of keeping record or record keeping.
I guess the way describing it as a linked list takes the hype away from it a little bit.
Yeah, but you're exactly right.
And then if we say, oh, for the first time in history, there is a new way to create NFTs via Bitcoin, then it's kind of sounds like a sensation.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Well,
it does.
You're exactly right, and it's often it's the words and the phrases that we use that make things sound really exciting, when in actual fact they're not. The one that gets me is smart contracts. If you actually look at a smart contract, so this is a bit of software on a programmable blockchain. So quite often Ethereum is an example. All a smart contract is it's a small computer program. It's just that it executes on a blockchain and it changes the state of a register from one thing to another. But you can if you say, oh, it's just a bit of software, it sounds really boring. Whereas if you say, oh, it's a smart contract, then everyone knows what the word smart means. Everyone thinks they know what the word contract means. So they think it's a new way of putting lawyers out of business and this kind of thing. Whereas it isn't. It's just a piece of logic in code. So you're right that a lot of it is hyping the word. So Rajesh, I was going to come back to you in terms of you're still learning about this whole space at the moment. How are you finding the learning experience? Is there plenty of material out there now to learn? Learning about crypto and this kind of thing. Are there any particular resources that you use that you find?
No, because basically I'm using the Bitcoin.com, CoinMarketCap, and BitGreed, all these authentic websites. These platforms are providing learning materials, learning chess academy, and sometimes I'm getting the assignments. My employer, because now I'm got the assignment to generate the fund through the token sales. Okay, so now this is my problem statements for the build the complete plan, research, identify the, you can say, legal checklist, operational checklist, community building, PR, tactics, calculations, fundamental to distribution of fund and tokenomics. So everything. So you have to learn quickly, 24 hours.
Yep.
So because just before the Wednesday, I just know the word of tokenizations. I don't know what is the, you can say, tokenization. After the Thursday before this midnight hours, okay, before this Sunday, I have got so much information about the tokenization.
Okay, yeah, there is, as you say, there's a lot to learn, and as soon as you learn one thing, there's something else. So you learn about DeFi, and then there's NFTs, and you learn about NFTs, and then there's the metaverse. It goes on and on.
Yes. Because if you, because I think I've first of all I was introduced by some, you can say, product launchment for the metaverse. I think 3 or 4 years ago, when I searched in the Googles, I found some invitation to register airdrop for the metaverse. So I don't know how to participate, but I appeared for that virtual events, or they got the understanding. So then I work on the metaverse, and then I work the blockchain platform. I work the company to market their products on the blockchain platform. Then I enter the builder to sell the, you can say, product on the NFT technology. And I like I'm working with the company. They are selling the fractional domains on the blockchain platform. Okay. So since last, you can say, 9 months, I'm working this projects to generate their sales and build the community, all these kind of things. Okay. Now I'm working on the, you can say, tokenizations, raising the fund, and more build the crypto utility, token utility products, because my company, they have very, you can say, solid background in the terms of telecom products, in the terms of enterprises products. So now they are moving towards the to make this product for the crypto community, because the crypto exchange, wallets, dApps, DeFi, they are having some problem in the communications segments. They have already a strong portfolio, so they are raising the fund to the tokenizations. Then they have pitch and collaborate these crypto exchange and wallets. So that's where you can say I'm working and learning, earning, three things happening simultaneously.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. It's certainly a fascinating thing. And sorry, just going back, I noticed Sebastian put a quote from Shakespeare in earlier on where we were talking about smart contracts. I was actually working with a law firm who actually used that exact quote, where Shakespeare says, the first thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers. I was actually working with a law firm where they actually use that quote to say, smart contracts are going to get rid of all lawyers. And they were quite supportive of it because they were creating a crypto advisory practice at the time. They wanted to be part of it. So, yeah, it's a good quote. But yeah, Rajesh, you're absolutely right that there is so many things, and you learn about one capability, and I'm sure Elena will verify this as she's been on her journey as well, that the more you learn, the more you realize there is more to learn. You know, you go into a certain detail, and then you understand that. So it's like crypto. You know, simply, you know, what is a cryptocurrency, and you learn about that is on a blockchain. Then you learn what a blockchain is. Then you learn what a wallet is. Then you have to understand how a wallet works and how the signings work, and then you learn about encryption, and it goes on and on and on. So it's certainly an intensive thing. And as you say as well, beginning to understand the use cases of how you can use this technology, whether it's doing it as a fundraise, which sounds like some of the things you're doing, or whether it's tokenizing digital assets or tokenizing physical assets. Yeah, interesting stuff.
Yes,
So-
yes, yes. Really, because I have the tech background, because I have the master degree in information science, so there's no questions to understanding the cryptography, encryptions, because I studied in my academic period, and then I will be different sectors. Okay, definitely the opportunity I got worked in sector. So basically, my questions to understand complete landscape. What is the horizontal, vertical of these ecosystem? Okay, the whole crypto and blockchain system. When I identified there's a landscape, and these are the, you can say, some you can say in the currency, like the industry wise and solution wise. When I identify there's a more than 5,000 industries sectors, like the supply chain, payment, logistic, health sector, governance, fintech. There's more than, okay, the telecom, education. So how you can use the tech, because payment cryptocurrency is one of the huge case there, because it connects the people, because money is one of the attraction point. Okay, so people don't want to talk about the rest of the things. Okay, so money attracts them, so they will they usually talk about the cryptocurrency. Even the layman, they want to invest in the cryptocurrency, they want to own the cryptocurrency. In that sense, they want to buy the gold jewelry or diamonds. Okay, it's like the, you can say, it's a collectible items. It's a collectible in that sense. But beyond that, they don't want to understand what is the other huge case of that tech, because my company built the already solution on the basis of distributed laser technology for the regulatory telecom sectors. Okay, to you can say manage the unstructured communications. So I am fully aware of all these things, but my challenge was for understanding to these payment segments, which is much popular.
Okay. Well, payments is a massive area, because you look at, funnily enough, I used to know somebody who set up a payment system from the US and India, a company called Kasha. And Kasha were one of kind of like the first movers in the kind of like the remittance and repatriation market of payments of Indian workers working overseas and repatriating funds and that. So lots of things on that. Great. Conscious in terms of conversations today, I've just put something into the chat, which is on Binance's Academy site, which is quite good. A little bit about Bitcoin Ordinals. I think of all the articles that I've read, that was kind of quite a good way of describing it, of how it is that each Bitcoin is effectively 100 million Satoshis, which is almost an individual address in its own right everywhere. And so an ordinal is just a clever way of using each of those addresses to link to things. But put that in there. Oh, Y Combinator as well. Yeah, always worthwhile checking out what it's saying in the States. Let's pull that. Oh, that looks far too technical. Sebastian, I like things with pictures. Not there's lots of
sorry.
words. There's lots of words.
You know how you go onto a search engine, you can get reviews of businesses?
Yeah.
This person has showed a proof of concept for an Ethereum-based version of that.
Okay.
You type in, if you click the link at the very top to get to the site, it's a bit difficult. Up a bit. There we are. So,
where am I looking at?
VRFD.info.
Oh, yeah.
And what you can do is type in a Ethereum address, good the reputation of that address is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a way of crowdsourcing reviews, and the reviews themselves are verified on the same blockchain that they are attested.
Anyone got an address?
Ideally, a really dodgy address.
That is my search history, full stop. Let's.
So that's an address of one that's got 42 positive votes, maybe because it's a finance company which people have used, or a popular wallet, something like that.
Okay. So I was hoping I might have been able to. It won't let me copy paste it, unfortunately. Okay, so it's a way of crowdsourcing reputation of addresses.
Exactly, yeah. So it's obviously very early stages at this point, but it's a perfect way of using something like an NFT, which is immutable.
Yeah.
Because you mint an NFT saying, I don't trust this address at all. And then that becomes part of the blockchain, and everyone can see that you, in 2019, said this person's a fraud.
So that would be an interesting alternative way of doing things like whitelisting and blacklisting. If you look at I don't know if people are aware of what are known as OFAC sanctions. So OFAC, I can't even remember what the letters stand for, Office of Finance and whatever. It's a US government department that issues sanctions lists of individuals, companies, and countries. And we're talking about anti-money laundering earlier on and know your customer checking. One of the things you typically have to do is go through an OFAC sanctions list to make sure if you're about to trade with somebody that they're not blacklisted in some way. So you could use something like this for that.
Precisely. So it seems to me like if this could be a common protocol, it would be very useful to be able to just generically look up the reputation of certain addresses from a certain, US government, individuals, users of particular sites.
Okay. I guess the challenge is always going to be about how do you check the credentials of the people giving the ratings, because it's a little bit like Trustpilot, isn't it? Trustpilot gives you the ability to put in ratings of a company, but quite often they're actually manipulated by the companies themselves, creating fake reviews and that kind of thing. So, okay, an interesting one. Thanks for sharing that. Definitely worth looking at further.
Certainly, if anyone here wants to set up a really dodgy Bitcoin, Ethereum dealing company, you're not going to get away with it any longer. People will be able to post bad reviews for everyone to see.
But that's good, because one of the things I get quite a lot of, it's a little bit different but it's similar, is obviously because I have a social media presence and I'm on various messaging groups, I'm constantly getting messages about hi, and that's it. That's all the messages initially. And if you respond, with hi in response, they gradually work it up, and they're actually trying to sell you a unbeatable deal for a crypto investment project that makes you some ridiculous amount or whatever. And what I usually do is, if I'm bored, I'll let them give me enough information where they eventually give me the address that they want me to send the crypto. And then there is a blacklisting site you can send crypto addresses to. So I post it to that to get their address list black. So it's kind of a similar thing to that, I guess.
Yeah, there we go. It's this is like crowdsourced blacklisting, and you can build up a reputation. And ultimately, as you mentioned earlier, you've still got the problem where trust can be manipulated. You can pay people to give fake reviews, but ultimately, it's something that has to be decided socially at that point.
It's fascinating since the dawn of the internet kind of thing, of the whole concept of how do you establish trust in an online world. It is a fascinating area about how do you come up with methods, whether it's eBay's 5-star ratings or Amazon's reviews and comments and that. How do you make sure that they are authentic and genuine, and how do you give trust rankings, that kind of thing? So an interesting area. Hey, Rajesh just changed his background. That's an interesting background with brands.io, Rajesh.
Yes, yes.
So hopefully we won't see brands.io appearing on the Ethereum blacklist.
It's a branch.io. Anybody can buy the fractional domains because we are helping those people having the crypto tokens and very afraid those crypto tokens not having any backed by real projects. So if they buy the domains with their tokens, they are getting real assets. They can build online services as well, and
Okay.
because domains also having their inheritance value, they can sell the domains on, you can self marketplace on branch marketplace, and also they can sell on secondary marketplace like the OpenSea, Revel, OKX, which is very compatible to our protocol ERC1155 protocol. So this is a very you can say one-stop solution for the all kind of people, either flipper or the seasoned trader or the newcomers or your
Okay. So an interesting area on that. That's great. Okay. Does anyone have anything else? Maybe everyone's suffering from post-holiday wind down or coronation relaxation. Any other questions?
I think Elena might be have some questions.
Me?
Elena always has wonderful questions, but I don't want to put her on the spot. Yeah.
As soon as I have one, I'll ask it straight away.
Yeah. So I like it because Elena is asking more and more questions that I don't know the answer to, and that's great. I like that because it means that it proves that I need to keep learning things as well. Because you can sometimes get a point where you think, oh, I know everything about yield farming and mining and blah 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 blah, and then sometimes someone just asks a question, you go, don't actually know. So thank you for always. The good ones on there. Sebastian, I just want to come back. Weren't you working on, was it an algo analytics capability or something? I've forgotten now.
Yeah, I was working on Provident.
Sebastian saying cryptography verify the King Charles claim on the blockchain.
So here is a connection to King Charles and cryptocurrency. For those who know something about English history and the way that in the 10th, 11th, 12th century you had kings and all this kind of thing. And then there was a thing called the Magna Carta. And the Magna Carta is a fundamental piece of English semi-written constitution, you might say. And the Magna Carta was signed by whoever the king was at the time. Was it King John or something? I'm dreadful at this because I'm never into history.
King John, the one who messed up badly.
Yep. Yeah. And so the Magna Carta kind of put into place a lot of the modern day constitutional reform and agreement that we have in England and so the UK these days. And that was signed at a place called Runnymede. I think it was Runnymede Island, or certainly Runnymede. Now, Runnymede, the site of where that was originally signed, has now been acquired by a Chinese company who are running a blockchain community from that. So there's various, if you're in that area of England, there are various crypto events that are held there, and they're actually run by this Chinese-owned company who are doing a load of blockchain stuff. So there is actually a connection between King Charles III and blockchain and crypto. Just you have to kind of connect the dots a little bit.
So I want to share this point as well. When I analyzing the ownership of domains, Bitcoin.com and all these kind of things, and one thing I was surprised to know then all the domains is registered, as you can say, Iceland, Rizvik is a small city which having the less than population 1 million. So, and all the traffic's coming from this website from the Russian and Nordic regions. Mm-hmm. So the name, the people who claim the name of Satoshi might be from the Russia or might be from the Icelandic, you can say Nordic country.
Yeah, it's certainly trying to work out the history of that can be quite difficult.
Yeah, because on the basis of the data which I analyze on the traffic and the ownership of the domains, which are like Bitcoin.com, others you can say BitTalk.org. On the basis of these data, I'm seeing that.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm having a bit of fun with my lighting today. So if it's all quiet, if no one's got anything else, I was going to suggest that we actually close off a little bit early today, rather than just staying on, unless people just want to. I'm happy to chat. No, I'm around till 8 o'clock anyway. But I'm conscious that.
Good. Gary, I want to recommend you. Can you fix some weekly topics so we can discuss like the legal aspects and what is trend? So we can come up with some things so we can exchange the info particular sectors what is going on.
Yeah, in fact, a couple of other people have suggested it might be an idea to actually build up a list of topics that we're going to talk about and actually structure it in some way. So, yeah, I'd be happy to build up a thing about like regulation now.
Yes, it's a good thing. Because information is a wonderful thing. We are freely to discuss and ask the questions. When you put some decorum protocol, it is very difficult to ask the question beyond the you can say subjects. So it's a good thing. It's an open-ended discussions. I highly appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. No, always happy to look at how we can improve these sessions. Definitely. I was going to share something as well, because Elena sometimes says to me, Gary, you're working on a project. This is the project.
Oh, great.
So this is the whole thing. I've not prepared anything on this yet. But if people want to stick around, I'd be happy to describe what this is all about, because there's lots of things happening. And Elena in particular, you might find this interesting.
Yes. Okay. Please do, please.
So you think about when you get into cryptocurrency or crypto assets, whether it's NFTs or whatever, you realize that quite quickly one of the really important things is the private keys that you have. Because the private keys give you the ability to sign transactions, and the private keys give you the ability to move values and that kind of thing. And the way private keys tend to work is that when you create a wallet, a private key is created, and associated with it is a thing called a seed phrase. And this is typically a 12 or 24 word list of words that you can load into a piece of software that will recreate the private key if you were to lose it. So what typically happens is people stick the private key on a wallet, whether it's a hardware wallet like a Ledger or a Nano or whatever, and they go and stick that in a safe in a basement or whatever. And the seed phrase, they do some really, really worrying things with. They do things like they'll stick it in their Google Drive, which means it can be hacked, or they take a photo of it, which people don't realize that if you take a photo these days with your mobile phone, in all probability, OneDrive, Google Drive, whatever, they all take copies of your photo. So you've now got your photo of your seed phrase that can be used to recreate your private key. So private keys and seed phrase, very, very important, because if people get access to them, they can then access your crypto. Now, for an organization, if they're like a crypto custody firm, or they're doing crypto estate management, or it's an exchange, when they create the key in the first place, how do they know that the computer is totally secured and everything? So we've got this thing here called ToughLock, and that provides a secured environment. So it completely locks down your computer to begin with, all offline, and it means that no other software can run apart from the approved software. Then you've got a thing called ToughVault, which is an area of encrypted disk locally on your computer, which will store it, and it links in with, you can't even see it on here because it's behind me, is a thing called ToughKey, which is like a dongle. So it's like a USB stick that you have to have plugged into your computer in order to activate ToughVault, which is running on a secure computer, whether that's Windows, Android, Apple, whatever. Then you've got Tough Browser. So that is like a web browser that only grants access to whitelisted sites. So that stops you being hacked. That, if you say you want to access Binance, then it will only let you access www.binance.com and not some sort of derivation of it. So that's a way of controlling what sites it can access and everything. Then when you want cloud storage, we've got Tough Cloud, which again is sharded, distributed, encrypted data that you can back up and restore. And then you've got Tough Box, which can't even, there we go, which brings all this stuff together again. So this is the kind of complete ecosystem. So this is using a totally locked down computer environment, a hardware device that you have to make all of this work, encryption at rest, so when the data's installed, encryption in transit, because I'm not showing on here, there's a thing called ToughNet. There you go. ToughNet is a zero trust network, so some of you might be using a VPN. Problem with the VPN is that you're still broadcasting on the internet that you are using a layer of security. ToughNet, with it using zero trust network, actually breaks everything into packets and distributes it, and they look like normal packets of data, so you don't even realize it's VPN. So you've got totally secure network, totally secure computer, totally secure devices, totally secure local data, totally secure crypto wallet in effect, and that's it. So this is the kind of ecosystem working. All this looks really complicated, and then you stick another layer on top of it, which is like crypto inheritance planning. So if you've got a crypto wallet, what do you do with your crypto keys and your seed phrase and this kind of thing? Well, you can actually use another layer that we're working with a third party who provide you with the ability to use all of this stuff sitting underneath and out of sight to distribute not parts of your keys, but effectively parts of the secrets of the keys. So it's another level of security. It's using a thing called Shamir secret sharing and all sorts of lovely encryption in there. What it means is that if you become mentally incapacitated or you die, then a executor can initiate something that brings all this together and allows the successors to access your crypto. So it's like planning for the legacy in the future. And what it also means is things like crypto exchanges can use this environment to ensure that when they create wallet addresses for the cold storage and the hot wallets and that, using this method makes it way, way more secure than what they've used previously. So loads of stuff here. Go and check out Lokblok.com. I think is the website. I really should know it correctly, and it's got some more details in there. So that this is the stuff that is just coming out of stealth at the moment. So we're working with a couple of partners.
Yeah, obviously you have to fight to get a good domain name, because Lokblok.com seems to be a concrete company. And,
you're right.
I mean, the concrete might be useful if you're trying to keep your cold wallet secure, but...
Well, I was about to say, absolutely, if you think about a high level of security, yeah, it's actually lokblok.co.co. And that's got, again, where we're talking about learning things, Rajesh, there's a load of videos on this site, lokblok.co, that explain things like private key management, custodial capabilities, how each of these tough components work, and the problems that they're solving.
When a user opens up ToughLock on their computer or laptop, you said it's completely secure, it runs offline, and it stops any other software from running. So does it mean that if I use it on my laptop, I won't be able to use anything else at the same time?
Correct. So,
Okay.
so for some people, that will be really inconvenient because you want the ability to, do your
listen to music, to watch videos, to everything else at the same time.
Exactly. Whereas if you're working for a crypto exchange where you're using this laptop to trade and deal with millions of dollars worth of things, you don't want Spotify running at the same time because someone might have worked out a way of hacking it or having a listening device or something on there. So you want a truly sterile crypto-only environment. So yeah, you're right. That's why this is for the commercial market. It's not for consumers really.
Right.
The digital asset planning one, that you can run at the same time as other things. We just use components of all this stuff underneath. So we say it's all shielded by Lokblok, but it doesn't need all those things. So yeah, if you like creating a digital will, that kind of thing, you can do that. But yeah, for commercial organizations, the idea is the device would be totally segregated from anything else. So no, you can't use it to watch videos and this kind of thing. Because what people don't realize is that quite often, if you do something in crypto and you use copy and paste, well, copy and paste by its very nature is sticking some data into your computer's memory, which other applications might have worked out how to access. So this is where people have to be really careful on that. So yeah. So I'll show some.
And then okay. And does the same go about top browser? Does it mean that the user has to manually approve the websites they want to access? For example, Binance.com. So
exactly.
And it's because it's for commercial use. People won't be browsing an easy recipe to cook something and then.
Yep. So one of the things on that is I see it quite a lot where people get phishing attacks, and phishing attack is where somebody gets an email that claims to be from Binance or one of the other exchanges, and it'll say something like, "Hey, we've had a security problem. Please update your password. Click this link to do this." And it's actually, it looks like it's Binance.com, but it's actually something like B1NANC.com or Binance.C0M or something that you don't notice. Or quite often they use Cyrillic characters, so like Russian character sets, which looks like normal ones.
They look the same.
Exactly. And so when you click on it, you now think you're on an accredited website. And I know people who fall for this, and it asks you to type in your password, and it'll get you to type it in a couple of times, and it'll say, no, you made a mistake, just to delay you while the software is actually logging onto a real Binance.com website with your real password. The first thing it does is it goes onto the real website, changes your password to a password it knows and that you don't, and it's now locked you out. So if you've got a whitelisted list through Tough Browser, then you can say only grant access to the Binance website, irrespective of clicking on anything else. So yeah, it's really comprehensive range of capabilities that hopefully over the next few weeks I'll be talking a bit more about. I tend to try and avoid all this technical stuff and try and express it in terms of, well, it means that your computer's locked down, you can't do anything else, which is great for commercial but not for consumer. Or it might be you can only access certain websites and that kind of thing. So if anyone wants more details, I'd say lokblok.co is well recommended.
Yeah, well, if I can be excused then to ask the very opposite and ask for the real nitty-gritty details here. You're using UEFI Secure Boot? Sorry, EUFI Secure Boot here?
I believe so. It's going way beyond my level of understanding. All I know is when I switch the computer on, it logs in with a different profile.
I think one of the underrated aspects is that if you have a properly locked down boot process, you've got a hardware level trust. Yep. And that's much better than a software level of trust.
Exactly. So we actually use what's called a hardware root of trust. So it's exactly that. It's the fact that you have to have a device plugged into the laptop when it gets powered up. If the device isn't plugged in, then you can't log into your secure account. And it plugs in as well. I seem to remember, wasn't it one of the chipset manufacturers, Intel, that they've got a thing called the SGX, which is the Secure Global Area. And I think they were doing something similar a while ago. But yeah, Sebastian, you're right. It uses what's known as hardware root of trust. That means without this device, the laptop won't allow you to log into all of these other things. which is quite nice. Which is nice at boot up because it's like having a separate laptop, and it's also a bit of a pain because you think, well, I can't log into my own account and check my email, that kind of thing. But if you're a commercial organization running millions of dollars worth of transactions, you don't want someone to also have Outlook running and Google Drive running and that kind of thing.
I think one of the difficulties there is that, due to the prevalence of Microsoft Windows in the computer sort of world, Microsoft keys are automatically accepted by most motherboards as trustworthy. And so if they are ever compromised, then I think it's going to be very important that people have external methods of securing their data, because then you've got a real issue with the hardware root of trust.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's fascinating. We kind of go around in circles on security. But I remember a few years ago when dongles were the thing, and dongles were devices that had to plug into your computer in order to use software. And eventually dongles went out of popularity because you had software dongles effectively. But now hardware devices is coming back in again, because if you haven't got the hardware device, you can't be hacked, or certainly nowhere so easily. So it massively reduces hacker attacks, because a hacker might be able to pretend they're you, they might be able to simulate they're you, they might be able to use AI to have an image and a voice of you, but if they haven't got this physical device, that they're not getting in. So there you go. I thought I'd just share that as something. And as I say, if you go to lokblok.co's website, they've got some good explainer videos around all sorts of things that you didn't know you needed to be worried about. And you now are.
Much, but you explained it really well as well.
I just hope I explained it right. I've been working with this team for a while, and I'm still learning. As Sebastian will have detected from my response before, I am not the most technical person in the world. But if you'd like to have a conversation with someone about FIPS 140-2 level 3 encryption, I can put you in touch with people who love talking about that kind of thing.
Yep, I tried to get my mother to use that, and suffice it to say that typing a password every time she turned on the computer was not going down well.
Yep.
So there is a level of kind of buy-in that you have to really want to have this secure software. Once you want it, you can use all this fascinating cryptography and actually get it.
I agree. The thing about security as well is security only really works if it's easy to use. Because if it's difficult, you won't use it, or you'll do something wrong. So the stuff I do in the kind of like the crypto community is about trying to educate people, not about crypto. It's about trying to educate the crypto people that they need to make the stuff they're doing easier to use. Because if it's easy to use, you don't need educating. It's just, plug this in, go. There you go. Doesn't get any easier than that, does it? And Sebastian, as you say, having to type in a 12-character password with mixed case, at least one number, at least one special character, which you haven't ever used before in the last 3 million years. This guy is a real drag. So, and
which doesn't exist on the keyboard you're using.
Yeah. I love it. There's a YouTube video. I'm not going to share the details of it because it does involve a lot of swearing. But it is someone who's getting more and more frustrated about typing in a password. It's like, oh, this password must contain at least so many things. Okay, potato. Oh, this password must include numbers. Okay, 50 potatoes. It goes on and on. It gets really very frustrated. He ends up with this like a huge long password with swear words in it and everything. And it comes back and says, cannot reuse same password as used before.
What a great punchline.
It's worth checking out on YouTube. Right, folks, so we're about done for the day. For Rajesh, who's up until very late in the day, because it's now midnight in Delhi, I wish you a good evening. For everyone else who's joined, thanks for being on the call. For anyone who's watching on YouTube later on, thanks for sticking around. I hope you've enjoyed it. Do check out lokblok.co, and I'll be giving more details in future. Thanks, everyone, for coming along today. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.